Morning all. Okay, let's have 1 or 2 15 minutes today. So I think I'll try an open Sicilian. Hope I'm not going to regret this. Don't want to sort of... Okay, quick B5, huh? I wonder if that game with H3 and G4 that we saw recently, a master game, or just A4, just trying to sort of get the queen side later. In fact, immediately this looks a bit wrong somehow. I'm going to play A5 immediately, so I can play knight E2 to G3 and use the C4 square in one go. If B4 is weakening the C4 square, he or she, whoever he is. By the way, who is he? So 5 minutes, not bad. Okay. This is national master or something. So I'm going to get to play bishop C4. So I'm reinforcing that E4. Okay, let's play this to stop H4. Is he really going to go for the H4 pawn? Why not just take that as well? If bishop E7 I can take, and I'm on G7, it's weakening a lot of squares. What is this? So queen D2, castle queenside. It's a weird position. This is weird. Queen D2 and castle queenside. I've got bishop C4, maybe bishop E6 later. Okay, now it's the first game of the day. Traditionally, in the last 2 days, I've been absolutely slaughtered in the first game. So this, I think, this is better than usual. This is a reasonably promising start position. And by the way, I've got this emphasis only recently, I think, in the last 2 months, since doing the pain of losing video number 2. Do you remember when we looked at that grandmaster who said, "Oh, it was the first time I had a reasonable position," that he went and beat like the top seed, Aronian. I think there's hope for us all that even if, forget all your past results, if you get a good position, then that's justification in itself, maybe more important than any past, game results. So, okay, I've been smashed in the first game, for example, yesterday and the day before, but if psychologically I think this is a good position, surely this is a good position, and it is, that I should be able to do something with it. Okay, so A5 maybe, or A5 is sort of attractive. Where does the queen go? Or queen D2. I think I should slow down a bit here now. Now bishop C5 is on D4 and F2, so disaster imminent. So I don't think I want the queen there. I'm going to play A5. Is there anything wrong with A5? Let's put the queen somewhere else. Okay, the A pawn's going to be weak as well, but if it's going to go to A7, that's an inconvenience. So queen D2 now. Possibly taking in bishop D3 or bishop E2. Okay, so it's on that D4. Now bishop E2 here. I think bishop E2 looks okay. We're even just trying for this C4. What's wrong with taking on B4? Weakness in the last move. If I take on B4, actually the knight can't move to E7, it goes to F6. Taking on B4 looks like a very good position as well. Knight C6 I just take. Can take, I'll attack the rook. Knight F6. Looks like a free pawn. I can play maybe... It looks like a free pawn. I can't see anything wrong with it. Anything better? Knight B5, lose a piece. Knight E6, no mate on D8. Queen B4 looks okay. Queen E5, is it a little trap? Queen C, I don't know. I'm going to take it. It rules out Knight E7 anyway. So Knight F6. Yeah. So what I was saying was, you might be being battered in some tournament at some point. Whatever, but you reach a good position in the game. Forget about your past emotional baggage. I think it's a good idea just to think, okay, you've got a good position now. Doesn't matter, I might have lost 2 or 3 in a row. Doesn't matter. You've got a good position. Make the most out of it. We've all got to do that. I mean, we're all going to be losing games at some point, and just it creates emotional baggage anyway. So I think we need some more in that series, because there's some very important lessons. I was thinking of looking at how Kasparov, he was nearly demolished with Karpov in their first World Championship encounter, and then he won 2 in a row, and then the match was cancelled. But I think that would be very interesting to see. Kasparov, he could have been wiped out, but he came back. So anyway, now it is a fork, so I'm gonna have to take. Now, do I play? Okay, there's counterplay with Rook B8, so I'm gonna have to blunt this bishop. Maybe Queen A3 just to try and hold on for a bit. So C3 and Queen A3. Still a pawn. Holding on to the pawn. Bit greedy, not my usual style. I don't usually like snatching pawns, but it's a useful queen on that diagonal. Okay, so Queen A3, just holding on to B2 for a moment, holding on to E7 and A5. So I get to play Bishop E2 or F3, Bishop D3 maybe. Nothing wrong with Bishop D3, I hope. Bishop D3 looks reasonable. In fact, there's another free pawn over here, past the A pawn. And this pawn's immune because of Queen E7. Snatch another pawn. Oh, pawn snatching game. And then come back to D3 after. That would be very naughty. There's Bishop F8. Bishop F8, then he wouldn't be able to castle after. Queen A2 could take on E4, but I've got this past A pawn. So I'm tempted to take on E6, E6 as well. I'm sorry. Greed in the morning. Breakfast pawns. Bishop A6, Bishop F8. He can't castle that quickly. So say Queen A2. He takes on E4. I take on E4. I castle. I'm going to take it. There might be Queen A7. There might be counterplay. Let's take the risk. Again, counterplay. I mean, his quality is not that brilliant if he can't castle though, so where's the quality coming from? His mate in 1 now. It's cruel. It was cruel. I'm sorry. Let's have a look. So 18 move game, yeah. Okay, so I'll just mention I don't know, it's not my usual style this at all, but he weakened a lot of squares like drafts here. I snatched the pawn, very naughty, but Queen D2 does actually put pressure on B4. But this pawn is not just winning the pawn though, it's creating this passed pawn, so it's of some strategic significance. The queen here is of some strategic significance. So I don't like winning pawns for the sake of just creating a stock of extra pawns. If there's some extra meaning to them, then it's more justified, because you are often giving the opponent more counterplay, better quality pieces, leading development. But here the lead in development is not evident, because if he can't castle, he hasn't got lead in development. I'm going to castle before him, as well as being 2 pawns up potentially. Comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks very much.